don't mind my little thingy. I don't really care, obviously. Alright, hey, we're gonna do another reading. I mean another because I just did one. But I'm gonna use Light Seers Tarot. Let's just do a quick energy check-in. My angels and airwaves, the adventurer here. Is that this one? Am I right on the title? Put some shit right in front of me. Yeah, the adventurer. So, what adventure are you on? Alright, let's see. I finally woke up in my own energy today. It's been a couple days of struggle. I had to get back into my own energy. Maybe that's something that you're dealing with. Maybe you're around some really fucking gnarly ass toxic people. King of Cups coming out with the like emotional balance, like I was just saying as it flew out. King of Cups and the Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles speaks to kind of like a triangulation situation. So maybe you feel like you've been around people that you don't really want to be, and it's been impacting your mood. Do whatever you can to get back into your own energy. I am dealing with like insane heat here, and it's fucking annoying. Yesterday I kind of let it get to me, so today we're going to play outside in the water, which will keep us cool, literally. We have the Hangman, so yeah, don't get stuck in a space of allowing other people's energy to dictate you. The collective reading I did this morning was about reflection, so it was kind of that thing about like, overall message was, you know, putting on a mask around other people and like not being who you are, and like how to actually stop doing that sort of thing. So go check that out if you feel so called. We have the Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, staying in your own energy, working on your own abundance, kind of like putting on those blinders and like just focusing on you, focusing on what you want to build for yourself, focusing on your consciousness with the Hierophant. What I mean by consciousness is like your ability to critically think, to imagine a reality outside of the one that we're currently living in, to see the truth, you know, being able to read between the lines in what we're seeing and what we're experiencing at a global scale. Yeah. Which is this Five of Wands energy, very much like at each other, fighting, combative. This is also giving like the crabs in a barrel I tell you about all the time. I don't like how my nail polish is chipped there. When you do start to rise, others are going to pull you down because they themselves are not doing the work to do that. So what also came out in that first reading today was moving in silence. Don't, you know, I've done a lot of readings in Collective Convo about just toxic energy in general, but one in particular is like removing yourself or detaching, in the very least, if you can't, like, you know, if it's coworkers or whatever, family, if you can't necessarily like physically get away from that energy. Remember, we are electromagnetic beings, so any energy that we are around is going to impact us, right? I stay with my child and animals for a reason. But I've had to deal with a lot of people this week. I think every day I've had to go outside of my comfort zone and deal with people and some toxic stuff, and it's really impacted me on top of the heat. So like I said, yeah, this double energy. Don't let anyone bring you down, alright? Energetically, emotionally, mentally, physically, just don't allow anyone to have that power over you. And when you are feeling yourself starting to like sink into submission of others, acknowledge it and pull yourself the fuck back up. You can do a quick spell or say like incantation. Mine is that I call my power back to me, so you can see that I am not the motherfucking one, so mote be. Like, people will try and fuck with you, people will try to impact your energy. Don't allow that, okay? Continue to dance to the beat of your own drum. Be this wild stallion, right? Untamable. Acknowledging like your life, right? Acknowledging what you've been through, right? People are gonna say whatever people want, but you're the only one that knows everything that you've been through, right? Well, you and your animal perhaps, but like, you can see your own growth. You're the only one that knows what emotions you've had, what situations you've gone through, what decisions you've had to make. And don't let anyone try to gaslight you out of what you know to be true for yourself. Alright? Alright, we also have the Four of Wands here, which is about building a solid foundation, whether that's within a communal space, individually, or like within like a family space. The traditional tarot, it is like a family, a nuclear family. Maybe you're experiencing some nightmares or maybe you're just aware that like whatever this is, because like this is the sequence of the column. It's like, this is who you really are. You are a master of your own emotions. I mean, you can't go higher than a king except if you go to the emperor within the tarot. But like within each suit, the king is the highest card. So this is master of emotions. And then other people see that and they try to put you back into a space of despair. Do not allow that to happen, okay? Fuck no. I know, alright? And here we have this other column speaking to that as well, right? Whenever there are people around you, so Three of Pentacles are, I see it often as, like I said, the triangulation. I don't think triangulation is a good thing at all. I see this as, I don't like odd numbers for this reason. Someone's going to get left out. Someone's going to get fucked over. There's this, like, it kind of looks like a stoplight, you know, so that could be relevant. But, you know, this is the devil, so someone could be trying to fuck with your money, with your material, with your home, whatever it is, whatever that is, it's, you know, this could be the same situation. Again, don't allow it, because next we had that Hanged Man. So if you let people try to tell you about yourself, they don't know, okay? And you can tell them that. Fuck off. And coming out with that also is this King of Wands energy. Wands is the master of, like, struggle, right? So, like, the Five of Wands is very much going at each other, everyone trying to get, you know, it's the rat race. King of Wands is very much, oh no, I'm good, I got this, and you've got protection on you, behind you, right? You've got someone looking out for you, whether that's your spirit guides, whether that is a spirit animal in the physical, whether it's your higher self, whether it's your manic self, whoever's gonna show up and be like, fuck you, no, not today, right? And that's about balance, right? This Temperance is about finding balance between your light and dark, between the good and bad, but doing so on your own accord, not letting anyone else dictate that for you. Okay, the Nine of Cups is emotional fulfillment that you can, the highest form of emotional fulfillment that you can reach on your own, because the Ten of Cups brings in another. Alright, and then we have the King of Swords. So you have three fucking kings here, and one queen. Okay. King of Swords. So maybe you've also been very much in your masculine doing energy. And I mean, I think that's a good thing for a lot of us. I say that with, like, the acknowledgement of also having access and support from your feminine side, which is your esoteric side, your spiritual, your being, just simply being, right? I am because I am. Like, it is what it is. So anyway, guarding your emotional stability by any means necessary. The first card and the last card, with all of this other shit in between. Ultimately, it's about standing in your truth, in your power, in your balance, and being ready and willing to defend your emotional, what makes you happy, right? What makes you fulfilled, and while also staying in this stable space. not necessarily having to feel like you need to run away, right, with this boat from anything, but instead kind of hitting it head on when things do arise, right? And especially if it's boundaries with others, people don't like that. But either way, I mean, you kind of get to choose. Yes, or the last time we used this deck, I think the first energy was the Emperor. And so when we think about Emperor and Empress energy, it is very much the other king that we're missing is the King of Pentacles. So maybe you're struggling with money. It could be because of this Three of Pentacles, because again, that's very much like a tug of war energy around material. But we do have the Queen of Pentacles. She's here. So maybe your feminine energy, maybe you're making money using your feminine energy. Either way, when we think about the Emperor energy, so just pretend this is the king for all intents and purposes. We have the Emperor is about stepping into the highest, Emperor and Empress. So the Empress is about stepping into the Queen, being in that feminine energy, and the path that we're on. I'm sorry, I'm not finishing thoughts. So the feminine journey is to step into the Queen energy of each suit, right? Cups, Pentacles, Wands, and Swords. That represents your spiritual, mental, physical, and emotional. Okay. So it's the mastery of all of those. Then when you are in any sort of given situation, you're able to call on whatever king or queen is necessary in that time. That is the optimum balance, right? So with these three kings here, I'm getting like the story of Jesus, right? The birth of Jesus. Weren't there three kings? These three kings. Yeah. So like very much, what are you being presented with, right? Also, frankincense is a really good protector if you feel like you need some sort of protection. I would put frankincense, like essential oil, on the small of your back. That's a really good thing to do. You can also get frankincense incense, but frankincense is a very good protection herb, however you choose to use it. Anyway, so the Emperor and the Empress are about the balance between your masculine, feminine, light and dark, and also balancing all of these aspects of self. Mental. I always get mental and I get wands and swords confused all the fucking time. Okay. Mental is swords. I have a cheat sheet. So mental, spiritual is the wands and fire energy. Cups are the emotional, and pentacles are the physical. So once you've mastered that, you're able to pull it, right? So like, it's just like anything. Like think of this journey as like a tool belt. You know, with this Hierophant energy, the Hierophant is the masculine energy pair of the High Priestess, and the High Priestess is all-knowing, esoteric goddess, okay? So the Hierophant is about this path, this journey to enlightenment with these stairs. Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin may be significant. Maybe listen to that do it high if you utilize cannabis. It will be a different experience. But anyway, once you reach a certain level, there's no coming back, right? The stairway to heaven, the stairway to enlightenment, this journey that you are on. Think of each rung of these stairs as one of these situations that you have just stepped over. I don't know why I'm going so heavy in the analogies. Every time something challenging comes up, you're like, no, I'm going to keep moving forward. You just continue to rise into this. You continue to force yourself into your own balance and stability by disengaging from any of this bullshit, recognizing for what it is, especially if it's coming from outside of you. But also, if we want to get to the Emperor and Empress, we recognize it within us as well, and we master that. So continue to allow yourself to be so fucking for real with yourself. don't lie to yourself. Don't take shortcuts on this journey. There's no point in doing that. You need to be, if you do take shortcuts, you're just gonna fuck yourself over. You're gonna get stuck again, right? This is also giving that staircase, right? What I said earlier with this card, remembering what you've been through, remembering your journey to where you are with all of these cups, remembering like this is a downward and this is an upward. So remembering it as like a cyclical nature, right? This informed this. I made this decision because of this. This happened, I had to do this, right? Continuing forward though, regardless of how challenging it is, remember that the universe or God or whatever you believe will never give you anything that they don't think you can handle. And when it does get so hard, when you hit that rock bottom point, I'm laughing because I've been there several times. Every single time, the only thing that got me out of rock bottom was my faith in what I believe, which is not a Christian God. And as I've evolved, what I believe in has changed. And so allow yourself that space as well to just allow yourself that space. Nothing is solid, nothing is set in stone. I'm getting the analogy of bombs right now. So like if you think something is so set in stone that you're like completely stuck in it, think about what the bombs have done to Gaza. Think about the rubble. And kind of detonate whatever it is that you feel stuck. This is an analogy. I'm not talking about physically detonating things. But like think about, so like say you grew up in a hella religious cult or something, or like you grew up in religion altogether. And, you know, I did too. I'll share my experience. I grew up listening to the teachings of Jesus. I took that shit in. I was like, okay, you know, what would Jesus do? Became a thing when I was like, I don't know, middle school or so. It was like this little saying. They made like the rubber bracelets and shit. But I was like, Jesus is my homeboy, right? When I was in college, I had this shirt that said Jesus is my homeboy, and I would like smoke a lot of weed and sit in this Jar Jar Binks inflatable chair, and like I was so happy. This was before the whole mental health stuff. But like that was like the happiest time of my life was like maybe 22 years old, 21, 22, 23. And so anyway, then the incarceration shit happened, and I felt like I had to stay in these molds of like, oh, you did this, or like, oh, you've had this experience. And then in my master's degree, one of my professors was like, okay, so yeah, you were formerly incarcerated and you also have a master's degree. Like, two things can exist. Like, you're growing. And so when you feel like you're stuck within some sort of immovable space, right? When you're feeling in this energy, it's usually because of the people around you, again, family, society-wise, who have made you believe that you need to do that you need to engage in that certain thing, or that you need to be in that certain space. And that's just simply not true. So again, think about the rubble. Think about the destruction necessary in order to build something new. And I'm not talking about from the Zionist point of view. I'm talking about the destruction necessary. Like, a complete overall haul of your life is available to you. Life is a choose your own adventure. You are always one decision away from an entirely different reality. 3 decisions, completely different life, right? Every decision you make, you have free will to make. But a lot of people just get on this conveyor belt of, this is my life, this is what I do, and that's the consumerism and capitalism making people act like robots, right? We see this. They're turning people into AI. They're doing experiments on humans. They're replacing everything with artificial intelligence, right? And killing us, okay? So it's like, what the fuck? But either way, just an analogy of that. You are not a robot. You are a person with an imagination, with a consciousness. You've just been stripped of it and conditioned to be a certain way for capital gain. Quite frankly, I apologize. This is the first time you're hearing that. But that's what this is all about. Being untamed, knowing your own beat, your own path, knowing what makes you happy, what makes you excited, knowing what makes you pissed too on the other side of that, and staying away from that shit, right? Knowing your own patterns, your own cycles, right? I am an addict, and I cycle through different addictions for a couple months, and then I've gotten to a point where I recognize it and I let it go, right? But that might be for you too. And I feel like this society breeds addicts, so I don't really resonate with the term addict, probably because of the negative connotations and also the way that the 12-step program talks about it. But I know my own addictive personality. I know, and I think now that I know that I'm autistic, that has a lot to do with it too, because autism has certain hyper focuses, and so that's a more positive way to think about it. But again, I don't really like labels, so I don't really consider myself autistic, even though I know I am. I'm like, whatever, I'm just me. I'm just who the fuck I am. I'm just here doing what I want to do. But either way, don't let any sort of conformity keep you stuck in some reality that is not yours or not something that you want, okay? Do whatever you can to liberate yourself. And the first reading I did was also about that. But this one's about, like, reaching those points of fulfillment within each of these different houses. Your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Finding that balance, right? So look at it like this. We have physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. This is your feminine side. The left is your feminine side. I know it's your right, but it's my left. The left is your feminine side. The right is your masculine side. So these four, okay, that is going to lead you to these, right? Your emperor and empress, right? You just got the fawns. All right, that's like old school. Happy Days. I don't know. It's a really old show. But anyway, Happy Days. You know, what is giving you, what is making you happy? What is bringing you joy? Are you allowing yourself to even experience any sort of joy in these times? Okay, we're all going to get a chance to endure some trauma in the coming years with World War III here and Civil War here in the United States. So allow yourself to feel joy when it comes. Don't feel guilty. We need people to be on those higher vibrations to help elevate others, right? When you interact with others at the store or out in society, do your best to stay in a high vibration. I've been Karen'd the past couple days by women, a couple women, one online and one here in my physical reality. I had to cancel class this week because the college was doing construction, and there was one parent that I forgot to notify, and of course it was the one parent who travels in from out of town. And so she kind of Karen'd me, but I mean with good reason. It was my fuck up. But it was funny because when I was on the phone with her, I was like, "You're totally Karening me right now." I didn't say that, but that's how I felt. I was like, okay, so this is like a battle of the wits right now. All that to say is, like, people suck. You know, you're gonna interact. Yesterday, this woman, I wrote a comment on some guy's post, and I called, like, the collective of men dumb. Like, that was the word I used. I was like, y'all are dumb, right? Just like, y'all are dumb, right? And it was taken out of context of, like, this woman came at me. She, like, made this whole video about how, I don't know, but she, like, had, like, stalked my page. And she was like, "You're on the spectrum." And I'm like, that's crazy that you know that, because I don't talk about that a lot at all. And so I was like, what videos are you watching on my channel? Like, how deep did you go? But anyway, so I blocked her. I didn't say anything back because I'm like, first of all, I wrote it on your husband's or your man's video. Like, he was asking me a question about, like, women's intuition or something. And so I said, like, I believe all women have access to intuition because we have a portal and y'all are dumb. It wasn't like a big deal. It wasn't like, I think you're really fucking stupid. And that's how she took it. She took it as like, why are you calling my man dumb? And I'm like, first of all, who the fuck are you? Like, you are not the person I commented on. Like, so anyway, it was just like, whatever. So anyway, I've been Karen'd, and so that's an attempt for people to pull you down, right? And that was kind of bothering me yesterday because this woman, like, I didn't even finish the video that she made in response to my comment, because once she said, like, I see you're on the spectrum, I was like, block immediately. I was like, how deep did you go into finding information about me? And that's the thing is, like, kindergartners say you're dumb all the time, and I'm like, why are we adults freaking out about someone saying, like, it, I don't know, it hit a chord, but I don't know, it's like, whatever. But then I was reading the comments that other people were making about her commenting to me, and I was like, this is definitely a space I don't want to be in. It was a bunch of white women, you know, circle jerking each other. But I was like, okay, whatever, bye. So anyway, when people try to bring you down, drag you down, remember, you know, I've found balance within my masculine and feminine. I've encountered all of these things, and yes, they still come up sometimes. You know, I still have to deal with a Three of Pentacles energy or a Five of Wands energy. But I disengage and detach as much as possible because I know my own path. I've already found my own balance. So when that devil energy comes up to try and, you know, knock me off of where I am, I don't allow it. And I think that's the thing. Do not engage with anyone who is trying to, I'm getting perpetrate, but that's not the right word. What is the word? I mean, maybe it is perpetrate. Like someone trying to get you back into a negative or lower vibration of who you are, what you've already grown from, right? Think about pruning a plant. Like, no. Don't allow it. Don't let anyone bring you down. Okay, I'm gonna let you go. Have a good one.